What's going on, pilots, and welcome back to another Titanfall weapon review. This time we're going to take a look at the only shotgun in Titanfall, the EVA-8. And if this is a standard for shotguns, we can only hope that Respawn introduce more shotguns in game. I'd personally love to see a pump action shotgun of some kind. But this review is all about the EVA-8, so let's get started and take a look at the stats and figures of this weapon and find out what makes it so good. So as always, we'll start off with a look at the damage rating. The EVA-8 comes out with the mammoth figure of 285 up close, but that soon drops off to a lowly 28 at long range. This super high damage obviously means that you can kill your targets in one shot up close, but that 28 at long range does mean you're going to need up to 8 shots to kill. I'm not actually sure about how Titanfall works out the hit detection for shotguns. In other games like Call of Duty, we're used to seeing damage that's divided up between the number of pellets. The EVA-8 does fire out 8 pellets per shot, but because of this super high damage figure, I'm not actually sure whether the game takes into consideration the individual pellet hits. 285 damage points is more than enough to take out a pilot at close range, but if you calculated that long range figure of 28 as per pellet, you could easily get those one-shot kills out to any range. So I think the profile of 1 to 8 shots to kill relates the best to how this weapon actually performs in game. And with this in mind, I actually think that it all depends on whether you've got your target in your on-screen crosshairs or not, as opposed to the random spread of pellets and the chance of one of those pellets hitting your target, which is the cause for those annoying hit markers in Call of Duty. That high 285 damage rating does start to drop off after just 5 meters, but if you consider that pilots have 200 points of health, then you're still going to be able to achieve your one-shot kills up to around 10 meters. So while the deadly range is statistically 5 meters, in reality you can still get your one-shot kills up to about 10 meters. Beyond that, you're looking at up to around 15 meters to take out spectres and pilots within 2 shots. Anything more and you're going to be well beyond this weapon's effective range. One of the great statistics for the EVA-8 is its rodeo damage. Coming out at 550 points of damage per shot, it's a great tool for blowing out a Titan's brain. The only downside is the small capacity of this weapon, but combine this with the B3 Wingman and you're going to be able to take out a Titan very fast with even these 2 low capacity weapons. The capacity of the EVA-8 is really its only downfall. Coming out at 6 rounds in that drummer standard, it doesn't really leave much when you consider that you might need up to 2 shots to kill in any close range firefight. But you can extend that to 9 rounds with the high capacity drum attachment. Swapping out those drums isn't exactly a fast procedure. At 2.7 seconds while you've got 1 shell remaining, or 3 seconds from totally empty, is a bit lethargic, getting only a 2 out of 5 in my own rating. Then one more poor stat when compared to the other weapons is its rate of fire. At only just over 100 rounds per minute, it's a bit of a slouch. But I guess this statistic isn't too bad when you consider that you can take out targets in 1 to 2 shots. Unlike the full auto weapons which require multiple shots to kill. Another stat that gets a low rating but doesn't really matter too much with the EVA-8 shotgun is its recoil plot. I guess recoil plot isn't really the term for a shotgun, it's more looking at the spread of pellets per shot as opposed to the grouping of multiple shots, but as you can see the spread of pellets will flare out to around the size of your on-screen circular hip fire icon. And to finish off my little review of the EVA-8 shotgun, let's take a look at the mods that are available. There's only a small selection and only one of which is actually worth your time. That is the high capacity drum to convert that magazine size from 6 rounds up to 9, which will give you plenty of firepower for when you're stuck deep in the action. The lead wall attachment might be worth considering if you're going grunt farming, as that wider spread will allow you to take out those squads of minions a lot easier. This attachment might also be a good choice if you're not too hot with your aim. As we discussed earlier in this video, that 200 plus damage rating at close range seems to be per shot as opposed to per pellet, so I guess that wider spread of pellets isn't going to make any difference to the weapon's ability to take out targets with 1 hit, but that wider spread is going to make it easier to land those hits with a wider area for you to aim with. The worst attachment for the EVA-8 though is the suppressor. This doesn't really make any difference up close, you're still going to be able to acquire kills in 1 shot, but where it does put you at a big disadvantage is in its range. You're going to start to need multiple shots to kill at much closer ranges than you would without it, so while those stealth benefits will come in handy to keep you off the radar, I'd much prefer to stay mobile and retain its abilities to take out targets beyond arm's reach. So that just about wraps up my review of the EVA-8 shotgun. I'm sure we've all had some great fun with this weapon. My personal favourite setup is to run that high capacity drum and combine it with all the pilot speed and agility upgrades such as the stim and the enhanced parkour kit, then going on some rampages just blowing away anything that comes into sight. I do really hope that Respawn introduce a pump action shotgun as part of the upcoming DLCs for Titanfall. a massive shotgun as a Titan weapon would also be really cool and a great addition to the game, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what sort of plans they've got in store. If you are a fan of the EVA-8 Shotgun, or if you just enjoyed my guide or even learnt anything new, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, just help spread the word and share my videos with other Titanfall fans. Don't forget to check out my reviews of the R101C and the CAR SMG. Otherwise, thanks for watching, I'll catch you all later.
Eva? Wally.